I'm Michelle.
And I'm Lisa, and this is what happens before Boca.
Hey everyone, welcome to episode 13. We have a guest with us today.
Very special guest. We're so
Jen
excited.
Kraft.
Hello.
Welcome. So before we tell you why Jen is here, we're going to just catch up on the week.
Yeah. So, a few big announcements. First of all, excuse my peeling face and my sty. Full disclosure, as we usually do, I had microneedling. So I'll let you guys all know how that went, but I'm excited to see the results. It did not hurt. My face was numbed. Yeah, I felt like, it was like just a little uncomfortable, but based on our recommendation from the anti-aging episode, I went for it.
You did? Nice. I'll see what those results look like. You did look like a real big tomato when it was done.
Yeah. Okay, so I have a major announcement. Michelle, guess what I'm watching?
Heated Rivalry.
I am.
I'm so excited. Did you watch?
I have not watched yet, but I intend to. I intend to.
The fact that Lisa's watching, I need to know, are you fast forwarding the naughty parts?
I am not fast forwarding the naughty parts, but they are so naughty.
They are very naughty.
Naughty.
And I'm just impressed with you. And Jen?
I'm proud of her.
This is your homework.
Oh, I love this homework.
Yeah.
I have to admit, I didn't really know Lisa was like this with the TV.
Like so prudish?
Did not know that at all. I'm learning new things about her through this show, actually.
I know.
Yeah.
It's
After
interesting.
21 years.
I know. I know.
It's fun to learn new things.
She
about
reveals.
friends.
Totally.
The reveals.
Right. Last week you're recommending lube. This week you are talking about Heated Rivalry. And
it's a new me.
Yeah.
And last night I said a dirty word.
What?
And I can't say it.
One of my friends was like, how did Lisa not know the words to Glory of Love? She was like very taken aback that you didn't know Glory of Love.
I probably do know it. It's my brain fog.
Probably.
Yeah. If I just had it like Jen knows it.
I don't know every word. I'm famous for
just
I know a few, and then I make up words sometimes. Sometimes I think they're different for 20 years, and my husband will be like, "You think it's that?
Yeah, it's not that." Wait, start it off, Jen. Start off, Glory of Love.
I am the man who will fight for your honor. I'll be the hero that you're dreaming of.
No.
Right. And then
for the glory of love.
There we go.
Good job.
Okay.
Proud of you.
The other big announcement is, oh my God, guess where Love is Blind is coming? Michelle knows the answer.
New Jersey? Here? Like Bergen?
Upper Saddle Road. No,
just kidding.
They heard me and Lisa talking about it.
Hoboken.
Are you going to go live? Like to watch it?
Can we go live?
I don't know.
Is that even an option?
I don't know. Maybe we could go to the reunion.
I don't know. They might want you to cover it for both. You could get one of the stars.
Oh yeah. If you need us to cover it, we'll check our calendar.
Gladly be covering it.
Well,
speaking of Love is Blind, now you've also recommended Age of Attraction. Did you watch this?
No, I did hear her recommendation. Have you been watching it?
Did you not even start it?
Well, she's so busy with the Heated Rivalry.
I have Heated Rivalry. I have this bowling show. Are you guys aware of this bowling?
Oh, my husband told me about the bowling show.
Very interesting. The bowling tour.
Age of Attraction should have been on your list because you knew we were going to talk about it. And now I am the only one who's going to talk about it.
I'm sorry.
Well,
I'll catch up.
It's good. I mean, that's the wrong word. It's, again, it falls into the Love is Blind genre of waste of time, of stupidity. But but I will say one thing that is interesting about the filming of this particular show is that at night when they're alone in the bedrooms, they film the sex noises.
Ooh, Lisa's blushing.
It's these people have children, and they're filming them outside the door.
Yeah, it's very strange.
They're doing a reality show. I mean, they'll stop at nothing.
But I thought about that. Do they have to sign off on yes, you can hear my sex noises?
Oh, I'm absolutely positive they have to sign off on that.
That's horrible.
One thing that won't be taking our time, by the way, is The Bachelorette because it's canceled. So I can knock that off my list.
I watched that video I don't even watch it, but my niece told me about the scandal.
It's just a train wreck.
Yeah, I know. That woman has been all over the place. I don't even know why they picked her. It was a weird choice.
It's a very strange choice.
Anyway, you know what trend is on TikTok that I'm really not into, but then there was one moment of it that I was into? Have you guys seen where it's like a celebrity being like, Mom, what did you look like in the 90s?
Yes.
And then it's a chance for her to show all her pictures when she was young. I find it very annoying because like no one's kid is like, Mom, what did you look like in the 90s?
And there's nobody's kid that wants to see what I looked like in the 90s.
Exactly. But the one I was into was Sonny from General Hospital did it.
Aww.
And then he showed all his Brenda Sonny pictures.
Aww.
So my Sonny story is a few years ago, might have been a lot of years ago already, me and a couple of friends who loved General Hospital were down the shore of Pier Village. And all of a sudden we see Sonny walking.
In Pier Village?
Were you chasing him?
We chased him down the street, like psychopaths, and we got a picture. And it was like very rewarding.
Was he nice?
Very nice.
Oh, good.
Very nice.
Is this still on General Hospital?
Yeah, I think so. I don't watch.
I don't think is he on?
I think he's still on. He could still be on. I don't know, but I don't watch.
Yeah. Oh my God, those were the days coming home to watch General Hospital with a tuna fish
It was
sandwich.
the same time, I think. Wasn't it 3:00?
Yeah.
3:00.
Did you just say a tuna fish sandwich? You came home from school and you were like, you know what? I'm going to have a tuna fish sandwich.
It was
That's
either that
very
or
weird.
spaghetti and meatballs in a can.
Ew.
Welcome
You
to
have the worst
Paramus.
snack.
Chef Boyardee.
No, I would have a Hershey bar or Doritos or like, I had a very good junk drawer in my house or I had Entenmann's donuts with the like crumbles on the top.
What about the Entenmann's pound cake?
Yeah, that was good.
We used to lick.
But the fact that you were having a tuna fish sandwich makes me feel,
Okay.
not good.
Anyway, we digress.
We digress for sure.
So,
one other thing I wanted to share. Punch the Monkey has a good one.
I saw.
Who didn't say it?
I mean, I love it.
I
don't
just
know.
like makes
It's so
me happy
cute.
for them.
If it's not
real?
true, I'm still happy.
Is it AI? You think
Is
it's
Punch
real?
even real? Who knows?
I hope that's what I'm saying.
I know.
Yeah.
I hope so because he's so cute. And that
I'm
made me
going to
happy.
believe it's real.
Yeah, if it brings us joy, why not? Who cares?
It was a good one.
Not harming anyone.
Yeah.
All right. So, should we get into it?
Let's get into it.
Okay. So, today we have our second guest, another one of our talented and beautiful friends that we're so proud of, Jen Kraft, who is a yoga instructor working on her yoga therapy certification. And our goal with this episode is to sort of break down, no pun intended, our body and what's going on as it ages and whether it is truly, oh, my hip hurts, oh, my back hurts, oh, my feet hurt, and there's nothing to do about it, or if we're asking the wrong questions and we're following the wrong advice. So it might just be small adjustments that we need or breaking habits. And today, Jen is here to give us the down and dirty, honest truth.
Totally. So as someone who struggles with chronic back pain, I am constantly complaining about my back. It travels down to my legs. It goes this week. It's on my hips. I'm always like in search of relief. And I've gone to chiropractors and I've gone to regular doctors and I do Pilates and I've done PT. And so I was discussing this with Jen and I just like loved her philosophy that I'm not like doing anything wrong, like hunching or slouching or anything like that. I'm just doing what's like felt natural to me over the years. And some of those kind of chronic habits are what really need to be looked into more so than like, I need back surgery or some, kind of huge adjustment like that. And that like those kinds of things just might not be serving me anymore in my body. So I need to kind of like readjust them. And I think at this age, we're just like kind of told all the time, like, you're aging. You just kind of go with it. It's almost like the whole perimenopause thing, right?
Yeah.
Like where people were just like, just accept it. And we're kind of like, fuck that. I don't want to just accept that my hips hurt all the time. Like, that's ridiculous. Why should I accept it? I'm like 49 years old. So Jen was kind enough to volunteer to do a yoga therapy session with me, which Lisa did video. So she could observe some of my movements and give me tips to reprogram some of my postures, my stances, and my tendencies that led to my discomfort.
And just as a technical point, we're going to put some of that video on throughout. So if you're listening, tune in and watch because you will see some of Jen's work. And I also want to preface this by saying that I am living proof of somebody for years with back pain, leg pain. What was it in my piriformis, Jen?
Yeah, I think so.
And I did have like I don't want to call it life-changing, but it was eye-opening in that I'm cured. Like, I legitimately have no more pain, and
thanks
to Jen.
Oh, thank you. I love that.
And it was changing my stance.
Well, it's changing your pelvic tilt.
Yeah.
Yeah. With a little tweak of your pelvis.
Just a little pelvic tilt.
I was ready for surgery. Okay. I digress.
It's your turn.
It's my turn. So before we get to the session, Jen, why don't you tell us a little bit about your professional background and what made you interested in yoga therapy.
Okay.
And what is yoga therapy?
I like that.
Okay. Well, thanks for having me on. I feel so honored. I was just feeling like really excited and nervous all week. So thank you.
Well, don't be nervous.
Honor. So to back way up, my actual initial career was in business. And I have an MBA in marketing. So I spent, the beginning of my career, working in big corporations in New York City, and yoga couldn't have been the furthest thing from my mind.
The antithesis of it.
Yeah. I mean, I was like, no way. And then when we have 2 boys, we had our first, son, I felt fortunate I was able to stay home with him. So I became a stay-at-home mom at that point. And that was in my 30s. And, just aside from that, throughout my life, I've had issues with my body image, negative body image. And even in my late teens, I struggled with an eating disorder, which I physically recovered from. And, but the mental chatter, is still really hard on myself. Yeah, and, like so many of us are, it's like so common. So I just lived with it. And, I got really into like working out. But when I say working out, it was like cardio, running and spinning and doing all the things, but not intelligently. I was really not connected to my body, and I knew very little about my body. And my thing was always my knees, like my knees would start hurting. I would get really upset. I'd run to get an MRI and I ended up having 3 surgeries, which, like arthroscopic surgeries, by the time I was 40. And at that point, the doctor's like, maybe you need to like change things up a little bit. So I begrudgingly went to this hot yoga studio in Ridgewood. It's called One Love Hot Yoga one day. And I just wanted to sweat, and get the physical. And there happened to be a teacher there that day. And it's all about the teacher. There's so many different types of yoga. So I will say, if you've ever tried yoga and you didn't like it, try it again, because it depends on who you connect with. So there's this teacher there, Jen Kraft, and I'll never forget, like, I was there for the physical, but I loved the way first of all, I liked her because she was formerly a athletic trainer. So she knew a lot about anatomy, which really made me feel safe. But she was just talking about the body in a way that I never, heard before. Like, she would say things like, our bodies are like our most prized possession. They need to be nurtured, not, starved or beat up, and she's like, but they're temporary. They're just a temporary vessel, and, we can cling to things. We can attach to things like our weight, but it's always fluctuating. Like my weight's fluctuating as we speak,
daily.
You take a sip of water, your weight's right. So when you attach to something like that, that's always changing, it's just going to create anxiety, and same thing with just anything with our bodies, like how our hair looks, and so I really liked that idea. And she would say like, but what our it really is like a case for like what our true self is, which is our qualities, what make people connect with us, like thinking about you two. I mean, yes, you're so fashionable. You're so, you're so into the trends, and like, that's fabulous. But your legacy is really, your vulnerability, your authenticity, your sense of humor, like that's what you'll remembered for. And that's like, you're not, like we were saying, I think, Michelle, like
the funeral, like no one's going to go to your funeral and be like, Lisa was so thin.
Right.
Or Lisa's hair was so glorious. Like no one's going to talk about that. They're going to talk about who you are as a human being, which I think is, we can lose sight of that when all we're marketed to is just how we look and how we look, and like, forget how you look. Just what are you as a person? So I love that, concept when it comes to yoga. When you spoke to the older women, they never talked about their looks or never. Never, right?
Not once.
I loved that episode. I mean, because that's what I'm talking about. So I was, what I did was I left the studio and I found myself thinking about what she was saying off the mat, because yoga goes, it's a life. It's a way of living, it's like a philosophy of living. And I started thinking about it. And she also said like life's unfolding as it's meant to, which also was a huge relief.
I say that like weekly. I said, my friend Jen always says.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can't see it at the moment, but like when you look back on it, you're like, I get it.
Yeah. And it's shifting the mind, like we were talking about in your episode about finding joy. That's a mind shift. It's like it's like a practice to learn to do that. But when you do, it's like lemonade out of lemons. As corny as that sounds, all these things were brand new to me.
So are you saying like a lot of yoga is not only what happens on the mat, it like sort of connects to like your daily life off the mat?
Your mindset.
Your mindset?
Yes. that's what surprised me, you know? So, so like it really became something I was interested in. It was more organic than any of my business stuff. You know, I just wanted to be a teacher because I wanted to never preach, you know, because I'm in it. I'm struggling like everybody else, but these things are like the antidote. Like for me, like even if I have to come to these ideas many times a day, thinking about these, like coming to, like one of my teachers says every day, she looks in the mirror and she says, how do I want people to feel in my presence today? And that's the same thing. Yeah. And it's like, it's not about what you're wearing. It's like, are you connecting? Are you smiling? It's about community. So it really helped me more than anything else I ever did. So I started training. I took my first training with a teacher named Ben Wish, who's like a popular teacher locally, and Jodie Domerstad, who's also amazing. And she also has a very therapeutic take on yoga. And then I took a training with a woman named Jill Miller, who's kind of world internationally known in the yoga circles. And she developed, she teaches very functional yoga and also myofascial release using these, I've even brought them yoga tune-up balls to get into the nooks and crannies.
They're so good. I've been using them.
Yeah. We talked about in our session.
Yeah.
So, I learned a lot more about anatomy and therapeutic, applications through her. And that led me to enroll in Perma Yoga Therapy Institute in the city, which is a yoga therapy training. And that's an additional 800 hours of training. And
wow, I didn't realize 800 hours, Jen. And that's what you're currently doing.
I'm currently doing it. I'm like, it's about 2 years and I'm into my second year. And what yoga therapy is, it's the way I've always loved to teach yoga. It's a very customized approach to yoga. And it's taking a look at the whole person and as an individual. And like what's good for Lisa is not great for Michelle and vice versa.
Yeah.
And there's no right or wrong answer is what I'm finding. There's not one right way to do stuff. And you have to work with the person and look at them wholly. And you also learn to work within the healthcare, and like you're not a healthcare practitioner, but you can work with like doctors and physical therapists and sort of try to speak their language and be part of the team to help support someone in their recovery or prevention or address any types of issues, or just help someone that has chronic pain or just wants to feel better in their bodies.
All right. So Jen, you and I've had some great combos about this, but I want to know from your perspective, like, why is this an appropriate time, like the before Boca phase, for women to start to think about this idea of their bodies?
Okay. Well, I love this question because it's, there's a few things. One is, as Lisa had mentioned, we're in this time where we're always hearing like, everything's going to go to shit when, can I swear on this?
Yeah, of course.
Everything's going to go to shit when we go through menopause, like perimenopause. There's so much fear around our bodies. And I'm not saying things don't happen that are really uncomfortable and bad, but there's a story that it's really bad. And I mean, I know myself, it's so scary.
Yeah.
And, there's a feeling that there's a total lack of control. Like your body's going to go completely haywire. And that might be true. And as we know now, there's things that you can do, but like, I think the more that you learn, the more aware we become about our bodies, the more we become fluent in our own bodies, like we can start to feel like a little bit calmer. Like, okay, so if I have, if I'm feeling really anxious because of the perimenopause, there's a lot of tools and there's medication, but there's also practices, and I'm for all of that. And there's like tools that we can do. Like there's, ways to calm our nervous system. Like if we feel a pain, like I used to do, we don't always have to say, oh my God, I got to run to the doctor. And doctors are great too, but like I used to run to the doctor for every single thing, but maybe the pain is like due to something going on in my foot or my shoulder. And like, if I just do like a little bit of strengthening work, or I do a little bit of stretching, that can leave it. And it's just, for me, it's been very empowering to learn more about my body so that I can care for it more. And secondly, like as you said, like we're trying new things in this phase, like this is a time to try new things. So people are trying pickleball, people are knitting, like both those things are using your joints and muscles in ways you haven't used before. Especially the knitting, when you think about your hands and all that, and pickleball. So it's like when we leap into those things, or maybe you're a golfer and you played once a month and now you're playing 4 times a week, and, or sitting at a mahjong table. How are you sitting? So it's like, this is a time when like it's important to like, and we might get frustrated because we used to be able to take on new things and not feel the results. But now, our body's going to talk to us.
Well, that's the thing. I think that's the difference too. It's like, we used to just be able to do whatever and not think about our bodies as like a part of it. Now I'm always thinking about, even when we did the pole dancing, like the whole time I was saying to you, like, oh, it's not going to be good for my back. Right. This isn't going to be good for my hips. Like, I'm so aware of everything that I do in terms of like how it's going to impact my back specifically, that it's like a consciousness I never had before. And I find it's like can feel consuming sometimes.
Yeah. It's nerve-wracking, but I also want to look at this time as like what you said, it's empowering. Like we can ask the questions that were never asked by previous generations. Yeah. And so we can change the narrative. It's sort of like, you know, like you said, with perimenopause and menopause, it's changing the narrative and having this time in life be exciting and also prepare for the future in a better way.
Yeah.
I think it's exciting.
I mean, it's an opportunity. I never want to be a downer about this or shame anyone. And, you know, you were saying like, you know, sometimes you do need surgery, you know, and that's great. There are surgeries. And, you know, I'm just saying that there's a lot of different things like that we can do to help prevent, and that we have like low hanging fruit that we haven't addressed. So the fact that you're thinking about it is really great because awareness is the first step. But I will say whatever I do on the mat, the physical practice with clients, my intention is for them to take it off the mat into other activities.
Right.
Like I'm not doing a pose or something just for the sake of doing a pose. There's a purpose to it. It's like, if we stand like this, how are you holding your pelvis? You know, and then how can you take that into pole dancing? How can you use that in your pickleball class or whatever? You know?
So Jen, yoga is like everybody says it's a great medium for like reducing stress and anxiety, as, you know, some people might look at running is or Pilates is. So what is it about yoga, this form of exercise, that helps relax our nervous system?
Well, so there's one thing besides the exercise part, as we discussed, yoga is a system. So it's on the mat and off the mat. It's a whole, it teaches us, you know, how to be with other people, gives us guidelines, like simple guidelines for how to play kindly with each other. You know, it's like how to like care for ourselves, how to balance our energy. It's about, you know, and then it teaches us how to like techniques for breathing and how to focus and quiet our mind. So it's not just about the exercise itself. In fact, a lot of people are surprised, and I was surprised to learn that the physical practice of yoga was just like came out like in the early 1900s. Whereas the practice of yoga, which consisted of meditation and philosophy and breathing, has been thousands of years old. So the physical practice is relatively like a later version.
So is that an afterthought?
Well, it was an afterthought in such like people were sitting a long time trying to meditate and their body gets tired and it needs to be strengthened, you know, and then some people develop poses. And, you know, in my sessions too, like you'll find that I'll do all types of things. It's not just yoga poses. It could be some things you do in physical therapy. It could, it's functional movement. So I
like break down how the session went. Like we're going to show some of it, but I sort of thought of it like I brought my body to you as like someone would bring like their car to a mechanic. Yeah. And I said, just like, look at me, look how I'm walking. Look how I'm right. You asked me to walk. You asked me to stand. You asked me to sit. Like almost like a mechanic sort of doing a tune-up. So walk us through, for someone who doesn't know, what the therapeutic yoga session would look like.
Sure. And before that, just to address what Lisa was asking about the anxious, like how it addresses anxiety. So like, it's been proven that like, for example, focusing on your breath, elongating your breath, especially elongating your exhales, can calm your nervous system. Yeah, right?
The vagus nerve.
The vagus nerve, all of these, like chanting, even there's like some chanting in like yoga, we om, that stimulates the nervous system. I mean, that stimulates the vagus nerve.
And we're not supposed to say we're bad at chanting.
At all. You can't say anything bad. I don't have a bad foot. It's a foot that we need to care for. I'm really, really,
your language.
So part of it. There's matching movement with breath. Like it's like it's actually been proven like our brain waves can shift. So like beta brain wave is like your real fight or flight, right? And we can shift into alpha and theta. Like you'll like this, I know, because you're so into the science, but like when I was studying a type of meditation called Yoga Nidra, we actually looked at pictures of pictures of the brain, like PET scans, and how the brain changed as it shifted from these different brainwave states.
It's incredible.
You know, so there is a lot behind it.
Oh, I love that. Because I think it also like brings from the mental health therapeutic point, you know, I'm always preaching to my patients about their narrative and the story they're telling themselves about themselves. And it's the same thing. It's the story you're telling yourself about your body is the same as what you're telling yourself about your personality or your capabilities or any of that. It's the same. same kind of logic, right?
Right.
So yeah, that makes complete sense to me.
Like if you tell yourself you have a bad hip, you're going to have a bad hip.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to use that hip.
Yeah. Right.
But it's funny you say that about the voice, because in one part of our training, we did a sound healing training and we had to sing and we had to go around and say something about our voice. I was like, yeah, I've always had a bad voice. And I'm so like militant about not saying bad hip, but I never thought about it as it pertains to my voice. Why is my voice bad? You know,
your voice is not bad.
I think I did just say last week I had a bad voice.
I have a terrible voice. It's not bad. It's terrible.
Yeah.
But I'm going to walk around thinking I have a good voice.
Well, we are speaking, aren't we?
Yeah.
It works. We communicate. Is it a voice that you're going to take onto Broadway? I don't know.
I don't have a Broadway voice.
You don't have a Broadway
wish I did.
Well, maybe you could. Voice. I'm not saying. I'm not her. Yeah.
But Jen thinks we can do it all.
We all can speak.
Yeah. You could do it all. Thanks, Jen.
So with yoga therapy and just, with this, you're asking me about what goes on in the session. And just to clarify, there are many amazingly brilliant teachers out there who aren't yoga therapists. So this is a certification, that I was really attracted to because I don't have a healthcare background. And so it really helps you speak that language, and get deeper into anatomy and all the things. But there's so many teachers that come from different backgrounds, like the trainers, or there's a lot of social, people with MSWs or therapists that have that background already. And then they get a yoga.
Yeah.
So you just really have to, when you're choosing someone to work with, it's really just important that you connect with them and they have the experience that's relevant to you.
Yeah.
So
the connection's so important.
It's so important. You have to be aligned. I mean, it depends what your goals are too. So, so when we did a session, are we talking about your session?
Yeah. Well, just walk us through, if someone were to come to you and say,
your typical
my back is stressing me out, or my leg is hurting, or they just in general didn't maybe necessarily have an ache or a pain, but they wanted to approach this from a more therapeutic standpoint than just regular taking a yoga class. What would it look like for them?
Yeah. So, I meet with them. I have an intake questions that I do. So we sit down like we did with you, and I'll ask them, we'll have a conversation about, their health history. Have they had surgeries? Have they had injuries? What are their movement habits? What are they typically doing all day long? If you're working, you're in your sitting, that's an important fact. Did you what are your what's your environment like? So there's all types of, what are you typically wearing? What kind of shoes do you wear? How do you sleep? Thank you.
Big one.
Sleep is a big one. What's your stress level?
Yeah.
Just all kinds of things. And then usually it's not like I ask every single, because usually we get into that as we move through the session. So I ask some questions to start, sign a waiver. I make it clear that I'm not here to diagnose. I'm not a doctor. I have to be very careful about saying that.
But you do make people feel very comfortable.
Very. She's a very good.
You're just a great conversationalist. So you feel like, I could, share. And when you share, you get to the nitty gritty of what's going on with people.
Right. Because if someone all of a sudden might say a parent is ill, or I'm going through a divorce or something, you might realize they're carrying their stress in their body, maybe in a way, all of a sudden this correlated, my mom got sick, that my legs started to hurt. You may make that correlation in a way that when you go to a normal yoga class, there might not be that awareness that someone would get to that point.
Or the one-on-one.
Right. The one-on-one is huge. Yeah.
I see. I've always loved to teach that way. So it's when I'm in a big class, I just want to stop and be like, wait a second, let me help you over there. So I've always had that challenge. So I've always tended to teach smaller classes. So, so I do like that because everyone's body is so different. And then, when I'll have them start to move, we'll start to move together and stand, and I'll just try to notice, different movement habits. We go through ranges of motion and the various joints, especially if they're having an issue, one of the joints. And then, depending on their activity level, if I have someone that moves all the time and they're I might want to start them with a lot of movement because they're used to that, and then eventually get them into a more calm state. Because a lot of people, especially around our area, and I'm this way too. I'm go, and the thought of lying in Shavasana, which is the resting pose at the end, I would want to leave at the end of class.
Yeah, you get
I don't need this.
I don't need this.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go on the next thing.
Yeah, I always feel I heard this recently. I think it might have been on a stupid TikTok or something, but it really resonated. We walk around like we're in crisis all the time.
24/7.
Something's, I gotta get to the dry cleaner before it closes. That's not a crisis. That's an inconvenience.
Right.
And I think when you start to segregate what's really a crisis. You realize you're not in crisis all the time, but we do walk around like we're in fight or flight all the time. We put ourselves into it. And that's where we're carrying so much stress in our bodies, and we're tight and we're clenching, and we're just like, you know, that yoga nidra. I feel like there's like, I have a video on that where you just like, is that where you like tense and then you release some of it, like that practice, like the body, what's that called when you like clench your body and then you release it?
I used to do that.
Yes. I find that so useful because I think it really points out where like, oh my God, I didn't even realize I was walking around like so clenched all the time.
Jen, I think you told me years ago to do that with Jake. Like he would go to sleep at night and he would tighten his feet and then release it, tighten his legs and release it, just for like, because he had such a hard time falling asleep.
Yeah.
I like that too, because you don't realize where you're holding it. That's actually not necessarily yoga nidra. Yoga nidra is a very it's a guided meditation, and there's a specific way of doing it because of the science behind it. And it includes a body scan. And then, I really like it. And it's something I never would have touched before. You know, like never thought I'd teach restorative yoga, you know? But but I love it, you know, because so the session, it just like, it's sort of organic. Like we kind of like start to move. I don't have one set thing I do for anybody. Like if they don't move a lot in their life, then I like to start them too with a flow, you know, like with something to get their bodies moving and their energy moving. I like to look at how they're breathing. And if they're feeling like they can't take a deep breath, because we always say just breathe.
Right.
It's really hard to take a breath. That's why I brought my balls, but I do a lot of work with these tune-up balls, which is my tune-up fitness training. And you actually like breathe, like if I blow this up, have your belly on the ball and breathe into the ball, like on the floor, because that's a baby breath, like an abdominal breath. The babies blow out their belly, and like, we don't want to blow up our bellies because we're holding everything in. If we don't do that, we can't get into that calm state.
So for people who are listening and saying like, I can't do all of this, it seems like so much. You really are able to like break it down for the people to like, what's manageable. Because you don't have to know all these terms or breathing or exercise. Like,
No. I mean, it's like, I'll say for someone, like, and we'll get into what we did with Michelle, but like, it could be as simple as, like, you know, I'm really into feet, like playing with your toes while you're watching TV at night. That's a good first step. But one thing I think is really important in a session is the phone relationship. Like when you, like, no matter what, and I know you like talk about how funny, like how much fun you have on your phone, which is great, because laughter is amazing. You find the funniest for us. Like, I don't find that so much when I pick up my phone, I'm immediately in fight or flight, no matter what. Like I find that I have to take breaks from it. I have so many people that will just say like, I can turn my phone off, but just my husband and kids can get it. I'm just like, that's literally the most stressful thing ever. You know what I mean?
Those phone calls are going to be the worst phone calls.
No. And the kid will come through. Where's my blah, blah, blah? And like, you know, so some people, you know, can't turn their phone off right away. I couldn't. I used to bring my phone into the yoga studio. And my teacher was like, one day you won't. I was like, how could I? My kids are in preschool, blah, blah, blah. But, so I try to work with them. Like, I don't force them to dig out, you know? But gradually I try to like help people get away from that. And I think if you can even take 5 minutes away, that's a yoga practice just right there.
Well, because it's funny, because when we did our session, you said, oh, can you shut, you know, do you want to turn your phone off? And I said, oh, my daughter's on the plane. As if like she's going to call me. Right. You know, but I think we have this running notion as moms in this day and age that have phones that we need to be attached 24/7. Like, our parents went to work. They were not reachable. If we wanted to tell them about a test or a forgotten assignment or a fight with a friend, we had to wait till we got home. So they came home. I just think that was such a healthier way. So this whole idea of like, we always make fun of like, mom, you know, like on the text. We don't realize like how stressful that is when you pick up the phone and you suddenly see that you're needed or wanted or it's coming through. You're like, oh, what do they need? What do they want? They never need or want anything. Like,
there are some exceptions to that rule.
Some exceptions.
Of course. But that's why you have your team, like your husband, your spouse, your emergency contacts. Like, you know, you let people know, you can let your family know I'm unplugging for an hour. Like right now, we're all unplugged. And like, how much are we in the flow of this? Like, I'm not thinking about it.
You don't really think about it.
You know?
Yeah. I love that. Okay.
So, is it too late? Is my question.
No, it's never too late. So, you know, I think like, no, the answer is no.
Good.
You can do something at this age and older, I think the most important, you have to want it. Like there's so many people, I think that, they do feel pain, but I don't know, they're just like, no, I'm just going to do my stuff. And because our routines are safe. And this really involves getting out of that comfort zone. Like you embrace, you know, it's going to the pole dancing, and it's also looking at your body and being alone with your body. And really one of the biggest pieces of yoga philosophy is called svadhyaya. It's self-study. Are you willing to be alone with yourself? That could be a really scary thing.
It's a hard thing to do.
No distraction. And looking at your body and how it moves. And are you willing to change? And it's not because like one of my foot groomers that I follow, she's like, you don't come out of the womb with a bunion, like, people will say, my mom had a bunion, my grandma had a bunion. It doesn't mean that's Courtney Conley. I have to credit her. But like she says that, like, if we know we're prone to bunions, just like if you're prone to heart disease in your family, the doctor's going to tell you, be careful about what you eat, exercise to prevent. Same thing with like if you're prone to bunions, like what can you do? Look at your footwear, play with your feet, stretch them, strengthen them.
I think a lot of people wait though. They're like, they wait and wait and wait and
till there's pain.
Till there's pain. Till there's like some sort of 911 emergency.
Yeah.
So is your message, don't wait?
Ideally. I mean, look at me. I had 3 knee surgeries and it made me look at it. And it ended up talking about like lemons out of lemonade. Like it turned out to be like the best thing for me. Cause like I, turned into this whole yoga thing. But, no, I think if ideally people will get the message and they'll start being preventative. And the thing is like, people can think they're being preventative, but when I teach like a big class, I love the big classes too. I mean, it's fun. There's community and all that. And there's wonderful teachers. And, but I look sometimes at people's alignment in their feet and like they're doing things that aren't so supportive. For example, you're doing a million like chaturangas when you lower down, but your shoulders are internally rotated and you're not supported. And over time, that's going to wear, like your feet. Are you aware of how you're standing? Like your feet are barefoot, but you're still kind of favoring one side. And again, no one posture is bad, but are you aware? Are you looking at it?
And we have this conversation all the time. We go to class because we want to exercise and sweat and feel like we're becoming more fit or losing weight. But sometimes we're concentrating on the wrong thing.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like I like to think of it too, like when I'm doing Pilates, because I'm more of a Pilates person than a yoga person, just like, I think of it as just like, am I stretching my body? Am I elongating am I strengthening things? I know I'm never leaving Pilates like I lost 5 pounds. Like that's never happening. And I don't really get muscles from it, but I do feel like I'm giving something to my body in that moment, like the same as like going to therapy is giving something to your brain or just meditating is giving something to your brain. I feel like I'm nourishing my body when I do something like that.
And you are.
Yeah. All right. So as I said, my issue is my back and my hip, but let's describe specifically what you saw with me and what you had me doing to sort of relieve some of the pain. And for anyone who's interested, we're going to play it some of our session now after we just started.
It was fun to watch. I'll tell you.
It was really fun. And you're such an ideal client because you're like willing to look at it. And
Michelle's like, here, take it.
She's like, do you mind touch? I'm like,
can I touch
do you want me to take my clothes off?
If you don't have to have touch, but it was just like, you're just like the idea. There's so many ideas, but you have to be wanting it. Like you can't teach who doesn't want to be taught.
Yeah.
So, I've known you not so well, but I was thinking about, I think I met you at Jamie's, one of her like 1st of July.
Back in the day.
And I remember you were wearing like a wife beater and you just looked so cool and like,
hunched over my wife beater.
No, but like, I think you have a Michelle stance that's very Michelle. And I was thinking about it, preparing what I was going to say. And I was like, that's part like of, that's what you probably, as we discussed, our bodies are not our identity, but that's like Michelle's way. So to look at that must be a little bit weird,
what's weird about it, I was thinking about it. I think because growing up, I was taller than a lot of my friends. There was a thing to make yourself feel smaller. Yeah. Right? Like it didn't feel cool to be like the tall girl.
Right.
It felt cooler to be the small, little, petite. So,
and you see that often.
Yeah. So it's like sometimes I would feel like I would hunch over in that way.
I was trying to stand up tall and
yeah. Like I do think that was sort of part of it. And I think when you're trying to make yourself feel small, there's like this like hunched over kind of posture that you take. So I think it's interesting that it's just kind of like stayed with me because I don't feel that way anymore.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I think it just stayed with me.
That's very intuitive.
But like
I am intuitive.
But it's like, you know, I think of you back then, I think of you now is in that stance, like in that sort of a cool stance. It's like, and it's your trademark stance. So anyway,
she's sort of like one of the women from Greece.
Yes. Yeah. She's a Licorizo kind of like,
really?
Not that cigarettes are cool, kids. It's
No,
just,
but you
can
could see
imagine
it.
her,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So like, okay, so we talked. Michelle has not had injuries, really. Like, she's not had surgeries. Your stress level is like pretty mid-range, like 2.5 out of 1 to 5. You know, you seem pretty like you're chill. So that was interesting. And then we just got into, like, she got up, you know, I'm not like staring at you. We were watching her move and everything like that. So
I was staring.
One thing I noticed, we'll start like in the middle of the body. So your pelvis, similarly to Lisa, you have a bit of an anterior tilt, which means that there's more of an exaggerated curve in your lower back, right? So when that happens, you're putting more compression in your vertebrae in your lower back. So right away that can lend to some back stuff, right? So if we can draw the belly button a little bit in and up, that can help alleviate that and make you into more of a neutral. So we have to find neutral spine for each person. Now it's interesting because when you stand like that, it actually makes the shoulders come forward a bit, like, because you could even try it. But when you lift the belly button up a little bit and tuck under, it draws the shoulders back because, as we talked about, your shoulders do internally rotate a bit. They round forward. So just doing that little check can really help.
I just did it. You feel the difference.
Yeah. We also noticed, your feet. So we went down to your feet were externally rotated. So you're standing with your feet, like not toes straight forward, but pointed out like to 1 and 11. And that's like your normal stance.
Yes, definitely.
So that's constantly putting your glutes, turning your glute medius, which is a very large muscle of your glutes, on, and your piriformis muscles on. You have 2 piriformis muscles just below your lower back. And I had this issue last year with my piriformis. They can get really cranky, and as the sciatic nerve runs through it. So it can emulate like sciatic, because you can feel some numbness down as a result of this muscle being tense. So it was really cool because a lot of it just made sense. And then the other thing was that when you were standing, I could see that your rib cage shifted from over to the left side. So the rib cage shifted, and what happened is that elongated your right side of your torso, and it shortened the left side of your torso, so that your left side was in a contracted state all the time, and your right side was in an elongated state. And that shift also puts more weight on your left foot. Right?
This is pretty incredible because this is exactly how I see you, Michelle. Like that is how you
like
stand.
crooked Callie.
No, like pretty Callie.
I mean, you're kind of just like, with the full stand,
Like if you had Rizzo, like you'd be like,
Well, maybe if I had a cigarette, I would look cooler.
No cigarettes, but I didn't mean to make that sound cool. But
but I'm just saying it's amazing that you can look at somebody and see all these things, and it relates to some sort of, I don't want to say issue, but how do you say it in a better way? Not issue.
It relates to some crankiness or your body's talking.
I mean, after I've been doing something a certain way for so many years, there is going to be it's like if you walked barefoot on the street for 20 years, your bottom of your feet are going to be cut up. Like, if I stand in a certain way for this whole time, like I'm certainly
going to be cranky.
Especially if it's not a way that's serving my body in the way that it should. Like that's how I felt.
Or just like, you're in a habit and we need to switch it up. We need to change. And that's also good for our brains, right? Because they say even brushing your teeth with a non-dominant hand can help your brain. So these things are really good. They can change neural pathways. Like, would you say?
Yeah, definitely.
Some fucking science. So this was really cool. And the other thing, so then we looked at her feet, and, Taz, I think feet are such low hanging fruit, because when do you ever strengthen your feet, or in an exercise class, do you ever talk about your feet?
Ever.
Like, ever.
Pilates a little bit.
A little bit, maybe.
We do.
Yeah. But like, there's like 25% of the bones in your body are in your feet.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that crazy?
I didn't know that.
You've told me this before, and it amazes me every time.
Yeah. And so there's just so much going on. There's muscles in the intrinsic muscles. Then there's extrinsic muscles that run from the foot up. So you can't imagine like just how much it is so important. It makes so much sense that we work on our feet. So when I looked at Michelle's feet, like we tried to spread her toes and they didn't really spread, you know, and that's something you can develop. We just need to like stretch that out and work on those muscles that stretch the toes.
But explain the big toe, because that was important.
And also explain like what you've said, like our whole body our feet hold our whole body.
Our entire body.
Yeah.
And there's like over 200,000 like nerve endings in the feet that communicate with the brain. So they're like they tell us that we're safe when we step. You know, so if we're always wearing shoes with thick soles and we don't feel the ground, that's not translating safety to our brains, you know? So
it's fascinating.
It's really so, and I'm not saying this to alarm anyone. I'm saying this is great because we can do some stuff. It doesn't mean you have to give up all your shoes. You know, you do it in your way. But the big toe. So the big toe is really important. Like when I looked at Michelle's big toe, it was a bit stiff. And when I watched her walk, I noticed that she wasn't pushing off the big toe. She was avoiding bending the big toe. I don't know if you can see this on the camera when she was walking. So she was avoiding that bend. And to have an effective gait, we want to actually be able to flex the big toe so the big toe bends back and push off of there and spread the toes. And that sends a message to the brain, oh, we're pushing off, we're moving forward.
So is that like being flat-footed?
No, so flat-footed, what I've learned from my foot guru, Dr. Courtney Conley, we demonize flat-footedness. Like that's not actually the problem. The problem is like a weakness more on the foot. Like you can have an arch that's lower to the ground, but if the foot is strong, it's okay. But the big toe actually helps the muscle that goes into the big toe helps to strengthen that arch. So if it's weak, we start to avoid it. And the way Michelle was walking with her foot angled out, you can start pressing into the inside of the toe, and that's where bunions form, right? Like, and it's so,
and you could see one was going to form.
Yeah.
Leslie, are you listening?
So this is something. So we tried to stand Michelle like with her feet facing forward, and she's like, I feel like I'm like my knees are knock kneed, and it wasn't. You know, if anything, they were a little bit bowed out, but it just feels that way because it's uncomfortable.
It's not my norm for sure.
Yeah, it's not your norm.
Like
sometimes when you change your norm, you almost feel like you're off.
Right. I did feel like I was off.
That's the whole thing. And let me say, there's some people who have a structural reason to stand with their feet out because it's the way their femur fits into their pelvis. It's at more of an angle, so their feet do go that way. And they wouldn't be able to really turn their feet in. But because Michelle can turn her feet straight, it makes it seem like it's more of a muscular situation. So,
and you felt like part of that was the stress of my hips, because that's really what I was telling her. It's not almost in my back, the pain right now. It's currently in my hips. I wake up every morning because I sleep on my side. I sit all day. My hips are like, I feel like I'm 85 years old. Like my hips are noticeably in pain every day.
Yeah. I mean, you know, like I don't know for certain, it's going to take some experimentation. But like I do know from what I learned that everything goes up the kinetic chain. So the way you stand is going to translate to your ankles, going to translate to your knees, going to translate all I up into your
back a little bit, Jen, so you get the
microphone. It goes up into your hips, it goes up into your shoulders.
Yeah.
So I think this is very exciting. I think if we were to work together, or I could give you stuff, I would work, I would absolutely work on rolling your feet, stretching your feet, and strengthening calf raises. Most people, like, we compensate when we do a calf. You were actually doing them pretty well. Single leg calf raises. At our age, ideally, we can do 21 to a beat of like 60 per hour. So like a 1 second beat, I think. 21 calf raises on a single leg to full range. That means coming up to tippy toes and not avoiding the big toe. Because a lot of times we try to go out. So that's going to strengthen your calf, your Achilles. You know, you hear how people tear their Achilles like playing pickleball. You know, it can help avoid that is strengthening your calves.
Interesting. The woman at my nail place, one of the manicures just tore her that doing playing tennis.
You know, it's like, I mean,
So meanwhile, we run for like microneedling, but we're ignoring our feet.
And then like, then we would do things like to strengthen the one side, the right side. So we would work on like side planking, that we could do like some yoga poses that like an extended side angle where you're curving this way. This would be strengthening the left side and then lengthening the right side. I would love for you to lay on your right side that's contracted. I would love for her to like, we blow up one of these balls and we had her doing this. laying over the ball in a side lay, and that's like a really down regulating on the right side, and breathing into the ball to help create space in that side of her body. So we'd work on that. We'd work on externally rotating her shoulders, like doing some shoulder flossing, wall angel, where you're pressed up against the wall. There's just so many things, like locust when you're on the floor and strengthening your back. Like you can even do this when you're in the car. Do you ever, like, your headrest is there? Press your head into the headrest, and then it's going to strengthen your neck muscles and stuff and help you stand up straighter. And you can also be aware of how you're driving. This travels, off the mat, like you're holding the wheel. Are you doing this?
Probably.
If you're listening, I'm shrugging my shoulders up to my ears. Yeah. So can you draw your shoulders up and back onto your back? Can you draw your belly button in? You can do this when you're driving. No joke. It doesn't always have to be.
Just like that little tweaks.
So Jen, instead of being angry with our body and ourselves that you're sort of into this already, can you give our listeners, our viewers, like 5 quick tweaks that we could make that are effective so we don't run to the doctor and have surgery?
Well, I mean, I knew you were going to ask me this question. I've been thinking about this all week. I mean, it so depends, but I did just write down like 5, like quick things that everyone can do. And like, it won't take up a lot of time, but like, it really depends on the individual. But, one other thing I want to say about Michelle was when I saw a big change in her was we massaged using the tune-up balls, the muscles on the top of her shoulders.
Oh, that's what you did against the wall.
Yeah, the wall. So it's like her traps, her scalene muscles that come down from the neck. And remember, at least she was visibly more relaxed after.
We took a picture.
We took a picture. We'll show you. Like she literally went from this to this.
It was, so talk about aesthetics. This walks, you can be up here. And then the interesting thing, if your shoulders are up here, try it for a second. I'm shrugging my shoulders up to my ears.
Yeah.
Now try to take a deep breath.
Can't.
You cannot do it. Right?
Yeah, if I go like this,
we're walking around with our shoulders as earrings, we can't breathe deeply. If we can't breathe deeply, what happens?
We're anxious.
Stressed.
Yeah.
And you can't get rid of it. Chronic anxiety.
Yeah.
And I'll, so my 5 things, you want me to give you?
Yeah. Okay. Let's go to those now.
Okay. Big toe stretching. Take your big toes. I don't care if you're watching TV, and try to move your big toes away from the other toes.
I've been doing it all week with oil.
Pull it towards one another. Like pull it the opposite way.
Yeah.
And then if that's okay, you can try to create resistance because that's an isometric. It'll start to build strength there.
Yeah.
And also, Jen, you told me like when you're walking around, those things that they put in between your toes
when
you're getting a pedicure. You said that you could buy ones that are comfortable to walk around with.
Yes, toe separators.
Okay.
I could give you a link to post on that. Yeah. You can wear toe separators. It will make your foot wider. You're not going to fit into these narrow shoes, but mark my words, I think this is going to be a trend. Well, I'll talk about that later.
Okay.
Anyway, so big toe stretches and strengthening. The single leg calf raises, they also call the calf your second heart, I think, because it pumps blood up to the brain. So
it does.
Yeah.
I'm going to work on that.
Right. Yeah. Second heart. Look that up. So doing the single leg calf raise is the way without compensating by avoiding the big toe. The wall angel, I can make little segments of this and show these. Great. Where you're standing against the wall, pressing up with your arms at goalposts, and you're pressing your whole back body into the wall. I'll show you that on.
So somebody with an arch, like, what do you call it, an arch? Like Michelle and I have.
Yeah.
Can we do that?
Yeah, like you would basically, it's a dynamic movement where I try to hold it for like 30 seconds to a minute, and your legs are about a foot away from the wall and your knees are bent. And then from your tailbone up to your head, the back of your head, are pressing against the wall. Your arms are in goalposts and you're trying to press your arms and back of hands against the wall. And you have to keep jiggering it, so like you press your lumbar spine against the wall and you start beating it like pearls, but then you're going to lose that contact when you press the upper, spine to the wall and your backs of your shoulders. So you keep reorganizing, but all the action is pressing against the wall, and it really helps to reset your posture after.
Interesting.
So that's a cool one. Like yoga sun breaths with a hip hinge, or just practicing hip hinges. Like
what's that?
That's when like don't
stand up.
Okay, I want to say hip hinge is like when you're like bent over, you bend halfway over, but your back is engaged, like your core is engaged and your back muscles are engaged. So you're not rounding the back. Ideally, it's how you
like a table. Yeah.
Ideally, it's how you pick things up.
Okay.
So when you pick things up, you're not rounding your lower back. You find a hip hinge and then bend your knees. That's going to help build strength in your back and help avoid back injuries.
Okay.
And if you like traditional yogic sun vests, then you know those involve a hip hinge. Okay, and then the shoulder massage, which you can just do with your fingers. Find that triangle of muscle just beside the bony part of your shoulder. That's a chromium process. Move in a little bit towards the neck. Do you feel like there's a mess of muscle there? Take your fingers. You can also use a ball, but like we have our fingers always, and just massage yourself for like a minute there and see how you feel. Because that is a place where there are a lot of breathing accessory muscles there that get tight. And if they're tight, then it's hard to take a deep breath.
Do you think massage helps, like all of this?
I do. I think it's temporary. But so that's why I like the myofascial release with the balls, because you get to do it yourself, right? Like not to go to a massage like once in a while for sure, but we can't all run and do that every day, right?
Yeah.
So like this way, I put the balls behind me in the car. Yeah. You know, I do
on the plane.
On the plane. I'm with them all the time. Yeah. Like my teacher's always like, you could bring them to the restaurant. No one knows what you're doing. You put them on your glutes. Like it's like, you know, so, but it's just really empowering because we can just help ourselves. And it doesn't take a long time.
And bring them on the plane.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was awesome. And I hope you guys
this is like so much
really like take some of these little tweaks, because honestly, like since Jen and I met, first of all, she made me feel so safe, so comfortable, like didn't feel judged at all. And I have to say, like, I've been doing some of the things we've talked about and I feel the release because I'm noticing now, I'm so aware now of like the tensions in my body. Even in the shower this morning, I noticed like my feet were turned out and I turned them the other way. Wow. Like I'm paying attention. I'm paying attention in the car. I'm paying attention. Certainly when I took the ball that she gave me and I've been using it in my seat at work. Like I'm just noticing these little tweaks that just relieve some of the tension. So it's definitely been useful.
Oh my God. I'm so happy to hear that. That's huge.
All right. Well, we're going to play a little segment right now of my session, just a couple minutes. We're going to stream together so you guys can just take a look at what it looked like and see the highlights.
Okay. All right. Hi, I'm Jen Kraft. We're here with Michelle, I'm really excited because you've been complaining about your hip hurting you. Both hips hurting.
Going into the back chronically.
But there's been no injury that you know of or anything.
No, just like a chronic L4, L5 kind of hernia situation.
Okay. And have you ever, we'll get into the intake. So today we're going to do a yoga therapy session, a therapeutic session, to try to identify some trends in Michelle's movement and to see if we can identify any habits in her day-to-day living that might be contributing to some of the hip pain. Because a lot of us do compensate. It's not necessarily that we're getting old. It's like sometimes we have habits that we've been doing. We might stand a certain way or sit a certain way for our entire lives. And at some point our body's going to start to, say, wait a second, let's change things up. So that's what we're at. I mean, the exciting thing is that the pain that you're feeling, the discomfort, it's your body telling you, hey, Michelle, we've been doing these things for several decades. Let's mix things up. And if you're willing to look at it and be aware, not everyone is. Yeah. If you are, then you can really address it. And it's not going to be that difficult. And I think it'll help you feel better.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. So we have the ball, like this cushy ball. It's the Gorgeous ball, like in my tune-up and the tune-up fitness ball. But it's like a Pilates ball and like a cushy ball. And we deflate it a little bit. But basically with Michelle, because she's shorter on her left side, she's in a contracted position. So the muscles on the side body, like the obliques, are in a contracted state almost all the time. And so that could be contributing to some of the pain she feels. So with this ball and using some breath work along with it, we're trying to like relax the muscles and the tissues there. So like this would be something I would probably recommend Michelle do regularly. It's like I want it to be a relaxing position. You don't have to be sleeping in it, but does it feel relaxing now? Yeah. Like it can be a nice relaxing position. You can adjust and hopefully it will help that side relax a little bit so that it feels safe and more comfortable being longer. Ball, the massage ball, right at the top of her shoulder, there's a triangle of muscles here, scalenes, your supraspinatus, to the traps, and this gets so tight on all of us. If our muscles up here are very tight, a lot of times our breath doesn't flow past there. So we might be in this, when you get like stressed, you go, you breathe up here. So that can put us in that state. This helps to relax that so the breath can move more easily into our diaphragm, into our lower body too. Well, it doesn't go in your lower body, but so it can really expand our whole body as we breathe. How does that feel?
Book a session with Jen. I swear to you, it will, you will feel better. And also, like, you can go back to her. I recently was taking pictures for my boys had their junior prom, and I sent Jen a picture, and I was like, Jen, my pelvis was forward and I look so stupid in the picture. And she was like, no, you look great. Just tilt your pelvis like a little bit back, like we talked about. And it's like,
you just need the reminder.
You just need the reminders.
And if you don't do it once, it's fine.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
But you're a really good. You're incredible. You really are.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
This means so much to me, and I'm so grateful to be on the show.
Our second
I'm like your
guest.
biggest fan.
Yeah.
Right?
And for those of you that don't know Jen, she is like a wealth of knowledge about TV, things that she's into and over.
Oh, she's going to do her into and overs.
So today we have a very, very special day because Jen is going to share her intos and overs with us.
This is my favorite part, and I walk around all week, especially
she does give
overs.
us. She gave me my over last week,
and we always talk about the overs.
Yeah,
I love the overs. Okay, I am over surveys. Okay, like I love complimenting people, and so, like you said, tell them last week. I love it. I feel like I do tell people.
Totally,
it's my pleasure. But I'm getting a survey request for when I don't know, like when I'm getting a cup of coffee, like every single time. And then I want to answer one question, but then it takes me to a 10-minute survey.
Right, I know.
And then they want your email, your phone number.
Right. Sign your life away. To just feel like it was a good cup of coffee.
I mean,
you know, it's a good survey at Whole Foods when you return an Amazon thing.
Just
you
like
have
a
three
smile.
pictures, a smile.
Right.
That's a good survey.
That's fine. Or if there's one line where I can say something, but I didn't sign up to do like a half hour.
I agree with that.
Agree too.
All right. This is like so cathartic for me to be able to say this on air. I am over people saying, if I'm being honest.
It's a good one.
And I used to never.
Because you used to lie.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, where you never, like, and people used to say honestly, which I didn't like, at all either, because it was the same thing. Yeah. But now it's turned into this. If I'm being honest,
totally.
What is that?
Right.
Just say it. Being honest.
Right. Well, it's basically like saying I'm going to be like a little brutal right now, or I'm going to be like digging a little bit.
I know, but it's like,
no, I don't like it.
Phrase.
Yeah. I think you should always be honest.
You should always be honest. And just
as much as you
that
can.
whole phrase annoys me.
I think people like are adding phrases to their vocabulary because it's like, they think it's like posh or something.
Totally.
I don't know, it's annoying.
Yeah.
There's a lot of phrases like that.
A lot of phrases.
Good ones, Jenny.
Okay.
What are you into?
Okay, I'm into. So I am into the barefoot shoe thing. Like, I mean, I know we didn't even get into that, but they're shoes that like are healthy for your feet. And I think if we go 5 years down from now, I think we're going to be seeing a big trend in that. It's like taken off like more in Europe, I think. But
there's stores, you said, right?
Yeah. So I
we'll
think
link those so people can see what they are.
Yeah. And I think with kids, like, you know, I'm sort of grateful. I didn't know about it with kids because I wouldn't have let them wear what they wore. And they would have been
like, Mom, I'm wearing these weird shoes to school, and everyone else looks in their Nikes.
And okay, I was telling Lisa, I'm into Virgin River. Like, I love that show. And every time it comes back, do you watch it, Michelle?
I watched the first season and then I kind of got like,
oh, watch it. So good.
I mean, everybody loves it.
It's such like basic, corny.
Yeah. Soap opera.
Yeah. I did like the small town. I love a small town show.
There's
something about that.
Yeah. But whenever it comes back, I'm like, am I really going to get into it?
You always say that and then we watch it.
And there was an article in the Times last night about how it's corny, but people love it. So I felt like, I'm into it.
But there must be something about corniness that attracts us. That's just like, we know it's like an old, like, Karate Kid or like those kind of movies. Like, we know how it's going to play out. We know the nerd is going to get the girl, but there's just something about watching it that feels like comforting.
It's wholesome. It's
I still get stressed like when they have issues and stuff, but it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, we love that show.
It's very comforting.
Good one, Jenny. And you said there was an article in the Times.
There was last night. I mean, yesterday I was reading it. It was all about like how it's cheesy, but people keep coming back and it's even going to come back for the 8th season. And I watch a lot of like really gritty shows. So it's like a nice change.
Like great.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else you're into? Is that it?
Any other good shows?
Well, The Pit. I mean, do you watch The
I
Pit?
don't watch it. We went over this. I find it like stresses. I do feel like it puts me into it, fight or flight when I'm watching it, because I don't want to see someone's leg getting chopped off. I don't want to.
But maybe if you sat with their like angels.
No, I don't. I will
want
say
to.
it probably does not put you in that state.
Right.
Yeah, I know. It took me a while to start.
I started a new good show last night, Imperfect Women on Apple. It's with Kate Mara and
my Pilates instructor
Carrie Washington, and the one from what the hell's that show?
Brain fog. Sounds like
when they were. Oh my God!
Oh, I know. Jen, the one that scared me over COVID. I thought the world was being taken over.
What scared you?
When they're like fruit of the day. What do they say?
With the red drapes.
The women, the show.
No, I have no idea.
Yes, you do. They walk around like friend.
Handmaid's Tale.
Handmaid's Tale. The woman from Handmaid's. Do you see what just happened? Okay, I know the show. Why did I not?
We're old though, or is it because we have so much going on?
Menopause episode coming up.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so yes, I thought it was a good show. I only watched 2 episodes, but Craig and I watched it together, so it would be like you can watch it with your spouse if you have a partner. That's good. Lise, what are you into and over?
Okay, well, I was into the same thing Michelle's into without seeing what she was into, so I'm going to leave that to her. But
what did I put?
It's about the women, supporting women. I said we need to build up women. Why do we feel the need to cut them down? Mm-hmm. Build them up.
Yeah.
I am into Salt and Stone body wash. My issue with it is I can't get the frickin' pump to work. Mm-hmm. Why do they put those pumps that are so hard to pump?
I don't know. That's weird. I've only used the deodorant. I've never used the body wash.
Michelle, can you open the pump?
Can you open the pump?
I never had the body wash.
No, it's not just that.
It's just
brand.
any pump.
Any pump.
Oh,
you have to turn it. They do.
You have to need a master's degree.
I can't ever do it.
I actually just did it this morning with my Natrium body wash, and it just worked right away. And I was like, surprised. How it worked.
Really into the Salt and Stone body wash. It smells delicious, but I'm over the pump. Mm-hmm. I think that was my into and over.
Okay, so I my into and over is sort of connected because I am very into women supporting women. Mm-hmm. And there is this one woman who's on, I don't know, TikTok or Reels or whatever, who she pulls up, it would be like Cindy Crawford doing whatever, and then she'll read the comments. And then she'll show the women who are making the comments. It'll be like, oh, she didn't age well. And it'll show the woman looking so haggard or whatever. Because it's why cut people down?
Yeah.
Why do you have to say Cindy Crawford she's beautiful?
She's beautiful.
Are we really going to sit here and argue? It's just the need. I'm so sick of the comments on posts. I wish that all social media would go away with the comments because I'm sick of all the comments. Yeah. Are these real comments? Are these bots? Mm-hmm. I'm just over comments. So that was one thing I was very over. I'm into these new flats that I got, but I didn't get them yet. So I did post them. They're from M and what is it? Me and M. They're just black with this row of these pearls. Mm-hmm. And I feel like if they feel comfortable, I'm really going to be into them. Mm-hmm. So I'll confirm that they're comfortable. And what I'm over is fast fashion brands like Mango, selling things for $400 or $500.
Yeah, no way.
Stay in your lane, okay? Because I don't want to spend $500 on something from Mango.
No.
I want to spend $49.99 if I'm going to Mango or Zara or whatever. I feel like I get it. You're trying to have some things be a little bit, but it feels like it's not your lane. We have enough lanes for that.
Yeah.
And we actually did put up a very good segment on the Linktree of under $200 obsessions. And I spent hours collecting these things. And I feel like they're really good ones in there. So if you want to check it out, there are good ones. But that was kind of what I was into and over.
I like it. So Jen, thanks for joining us today.
So
it was
much.
So fun to have you. I felt like we got so much helpful information.
And really, you helped me so much. So I really hope if you guys are local and you're having any sort of anything, please look up Jen. You can email us for her information. Do you have a website or anything?
I have to do a new one, but I have an Instagram at Jen Kraft Yoga.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Kraft with a K.
Information on Kraft with a K.
Yeah, Kraft with a K.
All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. And we have a very good show also coming up. We're not even going to trail it because it's going to be very cool, but make sure you tune in for that.
Yay.
Yeah.
Excited.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye. Thanks.